I'm in my bee suit today because I have a special member of our garden party quilt that I want to share with you today. And I need to be extra careful that I don't get stung, of course. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the lid off and I'm going to show you the newest block for the bee party. Okay, so here we go. Let's be super careful. This is my new bee box. I am going to be a beekeeper. Okay, so let's lift this off. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. Okay, here's the next block. Here she comes, the busy bee. All right, so let's have a little conversation about this. Let me take off my suit here if I can. Okay, there. No, I'm super excited to share this new block with you. This is my new beehive. We are just getting our new colony of bees established, and then we'll be moving them into my box. So, okay, this is the busy bee, and she's super, super fun, super easy to create. So if you have registered for the garden party, this is week 3, and she has not been delivered to email boxes quite yet, but she will be today after this video. So I want to point out some kind of fun things about this. So I just finished quilting just the body and the white part of the block. So I want to show you what I've done. You can kind of see as I hold it up close. So I always like to change thread colors. So I've used a really dark purple thread on everything that's black, and then I created kind of the wings, the details of the wings using that same thread. And then I did the yellow. I always recommend dense quilting when you're doing a collage quilt, or at least the collage section, the collage element of the block. So this gives you a good idea of let's see if I can show you the back. It's a difficult to see because I like to match the thread. I like the thread generally to blend in, except in places where I need some detail. And then I just did an all over stipple on the white part of the block. Now on this outside edge, I haven't quilted this yet. What I will do is I will leave from the outside of this little border. So I'll quilt only up until the edge of that border. I won't quilt past that because we're going to join the blocks together. So, and then the other thing that I'm going to do, I want to show you how I created this cute little mitered border that's on the block. And I will be doing some embroidery on this to make it a little more interesting. So I think I'll do machine embroidery since I have an embroidery machine, and I'm gonna play with that. If I didn't want to do machine embroidery, I have, you guys know that I love to collect different threads and whatnot. So I have this velvet thread or embroidery, velvet embroidery stuff made in Italy. It's just super yummy. And I thought this might make a really cute addition. Just a little hand stitch along that blue edge there. So that might be something that I do, but I may, but more likely I kind of want to try using a different stitch in my embroidery machine. So my machine is a Bernina 700 series. It's a quilting and embroidery machine, and it's new. And so I just quilted this on the machine. It works like a charm. I haven't used the embroidery settings yet, so I'm kind of anxious to try that. Okay, so let me talk to you. Whew, this bee suit is hot. Let me talk to you a little bit about this cute mitered border that I have here. So I have some adorable fabric. You know, I'm just starting to really buy lots of fabric that I can use that's in my stash and that I sell in my bundles. And this fabric, I absolutely fell in love with it because I thought it would work really well in this garden party. So, or anytime I do, you know, a chinoiserie pot, I think this would be really fun. But look at the darling stripe that's in this. And that's what I've done. So I cut a section. I needed four pieces of it for my, for this little project. And so I put steam seam on the back. I just cut a slice of it, put some steam seam on the back, and then cut it out. And then, so I have left over these strips. Now, isn't that just beautiful? So I'm going to go ahead and use this on another block in the quilt somewhere. And I've decided that we will make this beautiful fabric available in a new upcoming fussy cut bundle. So if you want to do what I've done, creating a border, we will make that available soon. So what I did, let me just show you. You can see, you know, on your cutting mat, you've got those 45-degree lines. So I took a ruler from here to here and using a fabric, you know, disappearing fabric pencil or pen, I did a line there. And then I was able to see, okay, which that's going to go that way. And then I used just the rotary cutter on my mat that has the 45-degree angle. So I cut each edge at that 45-degree angle, and then match them up. Sorry, my phone is going. Let me turn that off. So match them up on those 45-degree angles, and then it creates this beautiful mitered border. So the actual sewn border is in the pattern instructions, and it's just like the Ladybug pattern. So we're going to just take strips of fabric and put them together on this border. But I wanted to embellish it and make it look kind of interesting. So I really am super happy with the way this turned out. I just think it's adorable. And it's going to be a great addition to the block party or the garden party quilt. So that is almost ready. That's what I'm working on. This will be delivered to your email inboxes if you have purchased the garden party pattern. If you haven't, no problem, you still can. So let me just again remind you that the garden party is 12 blocks. They will be delivered from now through the end of July each week. On a Monday, you'll get a new block. So let me share with you what we've done so far. So the first week was the Ladybug Block, and this has been quilted 100%. I always leave the edge unquilted so that I can join the pieces to get the blocks together, and I'll start doing that now that we've got a few blocks so that you can see how I'm going to do that. So that's the first block. You can see the back is quilted and it has some embroidery on it. And then this was week number 2 right here, ranunculus. And I've quilted that, selected some kind of fun fabric for the back side of the quilt. And then block number 3 this week is the busy bee. So there you have it. Each block, each unfinished block is 14 inches. When we put it together, they'll be 13.5 inches finished. So that's that. Okay. There are a few other things that I want to share with you. And then I'll get to questions. So let me set those things aside. The little old lady in the shoe pattern, we launched that last week. That is available. I had hoped to get the binding on. I still haven't gotten the binding finished on this yet. But Amelia is a busy bee in the background. I want to show you what she's working on. Amelia, do you want to come? Do you want to show them what you're working on?
Yes.
I think you guys are going to be really happy with this. So, my bee hat. Okay, so what I have Amelia doing, we had several yards of fabric left over from some fabric that I had purchased a long time ago that had little children. Do you want to hold up the quilt too, Amelia, right here, so they can see it? So the little old lady who lived in a shoe quilt has some fussy cut little children in it. Okay. And I know people have been trying to find this fabric, and I happen to have some fabric left over, and I know people are going to want it. So I have Amelia cutting that fabric out right now, and we're going to make some little bundles available. Just a little, just a touch of fabric. I don't know how much it's going to be. We are hand cutting it so that we can maximize the fabric that we have, and we're going to make that available to you. So if you are interested, if you're making the little old lady in the shoe quilt, we will also have some hand cut little pieces of fabric with the children that you can put in the design. So that's what Amelia's working on, and we'll get that ready we'll get it ready this week for you. So, okay, let me get to any questions that people have. Oh, I might have to take this off because this bee suit is my neighbor's. I'm borrowing it, and it doesn't quite fit. I'm taller than she is. Okay, take off my bee suit. There we go. Okay. All right, let's get going on any questions that you might have. Let's see here. We've got people tuning in from Washington and Kentucky and Texas. Norway, welcome everyone. Henderson, Nevada. Let's see. Okay. Just scrolling down. Oh, someone from Luxembourg. Welcome. And Texas. Okay. So one question that I see right out of the chute. So someone just asked, are your borders all sass down or like a sashing? So these borders, the main border is pieced. Okay. And then I wanted to just embellish the design a little bit and make it really beautiful. And so this has sass on it, or sass means steam-a-seam. So I use light steam-a-seam 2, and that allowed me to just lay this down and create a beautiful little embellishment to the block. It's really easy. And then I'm going to go back over and I'll stitch over the top of it, probably along the edges. So I cut the fabric like this, and the back of it has the steam-a-seam on it. So I can use this piece because I created that border from this larger piece. So now I've got these pieces, and when I choose to use these, I can do mitered corners as well on this one. And I'll post some photographs on the Collage Quilter Academy Facebook group, just kind of showing you the steps. Or actually, I'll put it in the pattern. I'll make sure that the details of this are in the pattern for today that's going out today. Okay. Let's see here. So the blocks for the bugs and flowers. So the inside block, this is a 10-inch block. And then the finished block is 14 inches. So all of these will be 14. This one, and double check that before you get quilting and so that all of the blocks are 14 inches unfinished. So trim them up if they need to be trimmed up before you quilt. If you need to do that, you can still fold away a little bit of the edge just to make sure that they are all the same size. Okay. And the other thing, remember to don't do quilting, stop your quilting 3/4 of an inch from the edge. And then this week I'll start putting these together, and then next week I'll be able to show you how things are pieced together. Okay. or you can choose to wait until, which I kind of want to wait because I have 12 blocks coming. So I kind of want to make sure that I've arranged them the way I want to. So, but I do think it would be helpful for everybody to see how things are going to be pieced together. So I'll get at least 2 of these pieced together to show you how we're going to piece them together. Okay, let's see. So someone just asked the name of this blue fabric. It is an Andover print. Amelia's going to look and find out what the name is right now. Okay. Oh, the wings for the bee. Someone, okay, so bring this fabric over. Let's show them what this fabric is. Okay, so this beautiful fabric that's going to be in one of our fussy cut bundles is, oh shoot, sorry about that. Oh, sorry. Let's see. It's called Porcelain by Andover. So that's what that is. And that quarter should be sufficient to create a little, the block the way I've done it. Let me show you the block one more time. Okay, so let's talk about this again. So somebody just asked about the wings, how they look transparent. They actually are not transparent. They're just white and gray and kind of some lighter pieces of fabric that are part of the design. And when I put them on a background that's kind of, you know, light like this, it just blends in so well that it kind of suggests transparency, but they're actually not transparent. They're just a lighter fabric. And then adding that stitching on top, what I call doodle stitching, not only does the quilting, but I've selected it again. It's kind of a really, really dark purple, and that I quilted it in a way to suggest the veins of a wing. So that's how the wings were created. All right, let's see. So that's how we did the wings. Let's see. So here's another question. Many of these pieces are much smaller than normal. I've got a few layers for the overlapping. Is the quilting going to hold these down good? Yeah, so some of the pieces are smaller than, for example, in a larger quilt like this. So this, as you're working on smaller projects, sometimes your pieces will get a little bit smaller, of course. You shouldn't have any more than 2 or 3 layers though on, the pieces only need to overlap each other. But yeah, quilting. So I didn't have any problem quilting this. It was super, super simple on my domestic Bernina machine to just do the free motion quilting. And we do have needles that are the needles for sale on Collage Quilter that are the anti-stick needles, but I don't even have that in my machine. I'm just using, I don't pay much attention. I need to pay more attention, but remember that you need to do, and this is kind of how I quilt things. I quilt things pretty densely. So if I can hold this up here, let's see if you can see. Like I said, I always use fabric. I always use thread that's about the same color, but you can kind of see how dense that quilting is. You can see it again back here. So I shouldn't have any problem with this quilt, all the pieces being tacked down. And I actually intend to use this quilt. So I will be washing this quilt and using it like a quilt. So that's that. Let's see here. If you have other questions, please type them in the chat. And as I go down, I'm going to answer them. So somebody just asked, what kind of quilting did you do over the ladybug body? I'll show you the ladybug again. This you can kind of see maybe a little bit better. So I just took my machine. Again, I always change my thread color. So the thread on the black part of the ladybug is dark black or dark purple. The thread on the red part of the ladybug, you can kind of see it, is red. And then I've used white thread on or light pink on some of those, on these other highlight areas. So I changed that's really the biggest pain, is changing my thread. But I really, really love the way it looks, because when I make a collage quilt, I want the collage, the fabric, to do the talking. The thread is important to kind of be subtle in the background. It's dense, to hold all the pieces down, but I don't, unless it's an area that I need to kind of draw, like the wings, I won't use a contrasting thread. I want the thread to blend into the background. So I think of quilting very much like drawing. So I want it to blend into the background, and I generally will just follow the shape of whatever it is I'm doing. So the quilting on the Ladybug kind of mimics her, the roundness of her body. And then I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but each of these leaves also, I've selected just a light green thread. So the leaves are quilted like this. I think what I'll do is I will take some video of me when I'm quilting something so that you can see what it looks like. So speaking of that, I just posted a quick little video. If I encourage you to check out my Instagram, which is collage.quilter. That's my handle. And I just did a reel a day or two ago that is a sped up version of me creating one of the blocks for this project. And that's also, so on my Instagram, you can see the process of making one of these little collages, and also you can get a little sneak peek of what's coming. So I encourage you to look at that. So I'll make another video. It'll probably be a sped up version. I don't know, maybe we'll see, but of how I do quilting. So we'll do that probably on the next one, since I've already got these 3 done. But okay, so let's see here. I'm going to keep going down the list and answer questions. How do you make the wings on the bee? Like, what colors did you use? Again, the wings on the bee, I just used light fabric. So my selection was just from my white fussy cutting bundle that you can buy on Collage Quilter.
Not fussy cutting.
Oh, sorry, not fussy cutting, just the white bundle. I've selected a few pieces from there, and from the gray bundle. And so it's just white and gray, and it looks transparent, but it's not. It's just fabric. It's just fabric. And I'll post some pictures so that you can see what it looks like. I think I've got pictures on my phone. I'll put them in the Collage Quilter Academy Facebook group. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm reading the comments. Okay, this is a good question. She said, Emily, I purchased some fabric with children on it, but think they're too large. How tall are the children in your quilt? Millie, do you want to bring me some of those little children again?
Do you want a little tape measure?
What's that?
Do you want a little tape measure or something?
No, we can eyeball it. Now, when I did my quilt, I felt like these children were too small. So these are some of the children that I used, and they're probably 3-4 inches tall. I think you'd be okay to do children that are a little bit larger. So here's some other children that will be, again, they're just adorable, and they really go well with that, with the little lady in the shoe. But so I probably wouldn't go larger than 6 inches. But you know what? It's a collage. It's just for fun. So give it a try. Put it up next to your quilt and see what you think. It's all whimsical anyway, right? Like, who really lives in a shoe? Okay. Let's see. So the height of the children in the shoe, I'd say roughly 3 to 4 to 6 inches is what I would say. Let's see, looking in to see. Yes, I was wearing a beekeeper suit at the beginning of this. Let's see. Oh, we have somebody, Debbie from Colorado, originally from Sandy, Utah. So I'm in Sandy. I have shared the name of the blue border fabric. I've addressed the bee, the wings of the bee. It is not transparent fabric. It's just white and light gray fabric and light blue. Debbie just asked a question. Do you have trouble with your Steam 2 adhesive sticking on your needle when quilting? I've steamed the heck out of mine and it still accumulates adhesive. I have to clean it off with alcohol often. Debbie, I have not run into very many problems with that. I do, on occasion, find a little bit of buildup of adhesive, and I just scratch it off with my thumb in the little groove of the needle. So maybe try a different needle. I know having a brand new extra sharp needle is super important when going through collage. So I would address your needle. That's more likely what the issue is when you're going through collage. So make sure you have a super sharp needle, and I would maybe just buy one of those needle packs that we sell on Collage Quilter that's the anti-stick. So I hear really good things about those. Okie doke. Again, more questions about these wings. Wow, I am so happy to answer questions about the wings. Let's just look at that up close again so that you can see that they are just pieces of fabric. Now, one thing that I do want to point out is I've used some gray blue fabric as the wings get closer to the body, and then a gray blue fabric on this wing here to maybe look like it's got a shadow cast from this wing. And so we've gone from, darker to lighter out here, but these are all just light pieces of fabric, just white. It's not even transparent fabric, but I have used a good variety because wings, little critter wings, insect wings have a shimmer to them, right? And so make sure that you use multiple pieces of fabric to kind of create that look, but they should all be very light in value. And then adding that stitching over the top really made them look awesome. So let's see here. Are you using the same fabric on the back of all the blocks or different fabrics? I am using different fabric on all of my blocks, but it will be somewhat coordinating. So you can see what I'm using right now. I kind of wish I hadn't used this stripe, but oh well, I did. And I'll probably throw in something else that will be equally bold on the back with another block. So that's what I've got so far. And I might even do a pieced block for the back somewhere to kind of mix it up. Okay, let's see here, but feel free to use the same if you would prefer. I just want this to be, I want my garden party quilt to be quite scrappy and vibrant and just have a lot going on, kind of like a wildflower garden, right? Like there's just a lot going on. Lots of texture and color and just bright and cheerful. So that's kind of what I have in mind for the fabric that I'm selecting in my garden party quilt. We have a local from Utah. Hello, welcome from Layton, Utah. Let's see. So someone just suggested that I show you the backs of the quilts or the back. So here's a really good look at this is the ranunculus. You can kind of see the quilting back there, but again, it's difficult to see it because I match the thread, but you can see the flower really good here. So you can see what I've done. You can even see the leaves right here. And I'll try and get some really good photography as well to put to post. Let's see here. What color thread do you use in the bobbin? again, I change my thread all the time, but I've used white thread for these two backs and I used a green thread on this back. So you can kind of see that green thread there. And then you can also see that I've done quite a bit of hand embroidery on this one as well. So we've got some knots in here, but again, I don't care. I kind of like that really homespun feel. So and I'm going to do that again. I'm going to use lots of different colored embroidery threads. Let's see here. Someone just said, I noticed that on the back of the bee blends into the back fabric. Do you use a different bobbin thread color? Yes, I used white. Oh, somebody said that the video is a little bit fuzzy. I apologize if the video is a little bit fuzzy. What I'll do is take some photographs and try and get some really good photographs and post them in the Collage Quilter Academy Facebook group. Darlene just suggested or asked about what about using monofilament thread for the quilting. If you feel comfortable using monofilament thread, that would be great. I personally don't love it because it makes me crazy. It's so slippery and I cannot see it. So you certainly could. I would recommend maybe only using it in the top thread, maybe not the bottom, not in the bobbin. But if you feel comfortable using monofilament, that would be great. I'm using 100% polyester thread, just all-purpose 100% polyester. Polyester, I find, is it's stronger than cotton, and when we're stitching through the layers of a collage, I want to make sure that my thread is not breaking. So to avoid any thread breaking, I use 100% polyester thread. Okay, so Karen said how-to videos would be nice. I'm happy to do how-to videos. So I will, again, if you check out my Instagram, I've got something posted there, and I will continue as I move along in this garden party. Remember, we've got through the end of July, so I will continue to provide videos, and I will do it on the quilting. That will be the next video. Okay. Since next Monday is a holiday, will we get a block? Yes, I will still provide a block. I haven't decided if I'll do a live video. I might do a recorded video. Maybe that will be a recorded video of the quilting. How about that? That would be a great idea. Okay. Someone just asked for the name of the fabric children, or the children fabric. Let's see. I can't remember. It's, so I know it's Michael Miller, and one of them is called Children at Play. And Michael Miller has produced a lot of this fabric over the years, but many of these pieces are discontinued. So that's why we're going to be cutting it up and making it available for you if you would like. Somebody just asked, yeah, they said that this second fabric is not available anywhere. We'll make some of it available. Somebody just asked, Suzanne just asked, would tulle or netting work for the wings? I don't recommend that. I'm sure you could try it. The reason that I don't recommend it is because it's just easier to continue using the same process. You know, it's just fabric. We're just doing collage with steam-a-seam, and if you put steam-a-seam on tulle, it's going to, in order to get the tulle to stick, it will melt through onto the front of the fabric and get on your iron. If you can figure out a way to do that, by all means. If you don't want to use so no, I don't recommend it. I would recommend just following the instructions in the pattern, and you'll have plenty of success. Okay. Hi, Connie from Cottonwood Heights. Now she's my nearest neighbor, I think. And yes, so steaming the heck out of your little collage. Even I like to wet the whole thing before I press it, or as I press it. Okay. Oh, someone did notice. Yes, so this was my ranunculus, and I did add some some more embellishment. So you'll see me do that on occasion as I am playing. I have added some little embellishments just to kind of fill out this block a little bit. Let's see here. Anne just said, I'm concerned that some of the pieces I've used are so small they may not hold up if this is really used as a quilt. I know I need to quilt. Well, try making your pieces just a little bit bigger, Anne. You know, my rule of thumb is don't cut your pieces smaller than a thumbnail. And generally speaking, some of them are narrower, but they're longer. So the pieces that I've used, I really haven't broken that rule except for maybe the little highlights on his legs. So just make your pieces a little bit bigger if you're worried about that. Thank you. Somebody just said my quilting is very organic and lovely. Thank you. I am by no means a professional quilter. I am just learning and improving as I go. And I just am trying to think of it as doodling. Allison just asked a question. Do you quilt over the edges of a piece or leave them alone if the adjoining piece has a different color? I think this might answer your question. So I've got, this is, you know, obviously kind of a little highlight, and you can kind of see that I went ahead and used the same thread as what I had here on the B. So I think I would just, you know, go ahead and quilt over it and make it easy on yourself. Another thing that I started doing that you can kind of see right here, I was like, oh, I could do a little doodle stitch all the way around the B, and that would look really nice. It would look like make him look like he's fuzzy. So you could do that in contrasting thread if you want to. So I really encourage you to let go of any rules and just have fun with this. Let's see here. Somebody just asked if we can have videos on the Facebook Collage Quilter group. Yep, I'll try and put those videos on there. A video on the anatomy of the wing would be awesome. I'm going to put that in the pattern because I just think it's so simple. You're going to be surprised at how simple that is. So when you get the pattern today, I'll go in today after the video and make sure that I've got some good close-up photography of the wing. Somebody just asked, can I also use Vleos Fix? I'm not sure what that is. So I can't make recommendations on anything other than what I do. But that doesn't mean that you can't try other things. So I really do encourage you to always, if you have an idea, if you want to try a different product or use tool, just do a sample, just do a small experiment and learn. That's how you're going to learn and decide if you can use a certain product. Let's see. I noticed no border on the flowers, so border on some of the squares and some of them. That's correct. Some of the blocks will have borders, others will not. At least as I provide them to you. Now, of course, you are more than welcome to embellish or add a border. Just keep in mind that all the blocks should be 14 inches unfinished. Okay. The background fabric from the B is really, this fabric here is, again, just a fabric that I selected for the white fabric bundle, and I just love it so much. So while you can get it in the white fabric bundle, you won't be able to get a full piece of it for the background. But again, it's an Andover, no, it's an art gallery fabric. I don't remember what the name of it is. Do you want to find the name, Amelia?
Yeah.
Okay, Amelia's going to look and see. All right, I'm gonna keep going. Darlene just asked a question. Will you be doing retreats next year? Yes, we're gonna be making that announcement soon. So keep things in mind. And in fact, I'll send something out on my email list. What's this fabric? Will you bring it over?
Yeah. It says it's in the Sonata collection. Not finding the
Okay.
style name is like butters.
So this is the fabric that I've used in the B. It's Art Gallery, and it's in the Sonata collection by Amy Sinibaldi. Let's see if I can. Yeah, so it's in the Sonata collection. It's an Art Gallery piece. So let's see. So I will let you know about retreats. I'll make an announcement when those are ready to register for. We have both of the retreats this year in Midway, Utah are sold out. And I am super excited for my June group to get here in a few weeks. We're going to get going on that. Let's see. Someone just asked, I want to try free motion with a zigzag. Is that the same as your fuzzy stitching? No, I go ahead and try that. I haven't done that. I think it's a good idea to try that. Mine, I was just using, I was just moving my fabric to kind of create that zigzag, but I think that would be really cute. And I believe free motion stitching, I think you can do that. Double check with your machine if you can do a free motion stitching while you do a zigzag, or maybe you don't even need to do free motion while you're doing a zigzag. So give that a try. Let's see. Someone said, why did you decide to use a lighter background on the B? Because the top wing kind of blends into the background. Yep, it kind of blends into the background, and the effect is it's kind of transparent. I like it. I love this fabric, and wings don't need to be very prominent. There's just a subtle suggestion of a wing. So I think it worked out really well. I'm very happy with it. Yeah, somebody just mentioned, and I'll say this again, your fabric bundles are a great deal. I've been shopping for smaller quantities and it's a bit of a pain. Yep, that's where we're trying to help you out. So our fabric bundles have 18 pieces in them, and they're 1/8 of a yard cuts. And for each color, it runs the spectrum from light to dark and warm to cool. So I think the bundles are an excellent value and an excellent thing to collect if you're going to use them, if you're going to be a collage quilter. I think you need fabric in a wide variety, but you need a smaller quantity. So that's our hope, that it provides you with good value. Joan just asked, do you ever use any other kind of fabric besides cotton? I mean, a little bit. I have used corduroy and I've used a little bit of wool, but generally I don't. But I think it's okay to do that. The one thing that you need to be aware of is if you're using a different substrate like wool, for instance, or silk or anything like that, be aware of how it's going to respond to heat and steam. So wool might go and silk might get ruined, or you might like the technique. So keep that in mind. I have no problem using other substrates. So somebody just said, did you embroider the legs? Nope, the legs and the little antenna are part of the pattern. They're fabric. But I did then, after I laid it down, there is stitching on this to ensure that they are stuck down. Connie just asked, did you go to the Quilt Show Expo? I met Laura Heine and asked her about the edges and sewing and washing. Connie, I did not go to the Quilt Expo that was here in Salt Lake, but I will be going to the Quilt Festival in Salt Lake. So I only have so much bandwidth, and I just didn't want to do it. So anyway, that's that. But come and see me in Salt Lake in July. Let's see. Any other questions? Planning ahead, another Christmas quilt. Yes, I think we'll do another Christmas quilt. Someone just said, I think we should try to keep our backgrounds should be original, trying to make ours unique. Yep, if you would like to do that, that's great. Do whatever you prefer. What color bundles will we need for the entire garden party quilt? Do you know the colors of all the blocks? Yes, my color bundles, the color bundles that I recommend for this quilt, I'm primarily using primary colors. So there are blue block flowers with blue, flowers with red, and yellow. So red, blue, yellow. I have used a little bit of green in the fussy cutting elements, so little leaves. And you can see some more of the green here, but for the most part, there will be touches of green, touches of black that you've seen, and but the majority is those primary colors. So any color that you can do any color you want, but those are the colors of my quilt: red, blue, yellow, and a little touch of green. Okay, so somebody just said, what are the best places in Utah to buy fat quarters and eighth quarters? Have you found any great places? One of my favorite quilt shops, I like my girlfriend's quilt shop down in Quarry Bend, and I like Quilts, etc. And they will both cut 1/8 of a yards. And I prefer an 1/8 of a yard to a fat 1/8. So because of the way I can fold it up. But here's the other thing. As I said, I'm now buying lots of fabric to add to our own bundles, so I don't need to go shopping as much because I'm curating the bundles and buying fabric wholesale and making it available to you. So I've got my own stash of fabric that I'm selecting. But those shops are great, and also check out collagequilter.com. Okay, let's see here. Amy just asked, this is the last question I'm going to take because we're going way too long. Ideas, suggestions for borders so they look good, or is it best if they're just random? My suggestions for the borders. My quilt, the quilt that I'm creating, I've used a little bit more of the geometric prints on the borders. There is also a little hint of some French look going on in the colors that I've selected and in the borders that I'm using. So kind of think provincial French fabric. That's quite hard to find. But let's see. So this is a really good example of what things are going to be looking like. Okay, and this is all the information that I'm going to give you right now. There is not going to be sashing, I don't think, unless there's. I'm going to put these together, and we're gonna, and then we'll talk some more. I'll share some more details. So we're going to be doing, this is Quilt As You Go. What I'm going to be doing is folding. I'm going to be trimming the fabric underneath, and we're going to be sewing these together and then opening this up so that the blocks will look, let's see if I can show you. I'll take a picture when I get this done, but the blocks are going to be right next to each other like this, so there won't be sashing on the front. And if you want to do sashing on the back, you can do that. I will probably end up hand stitching mine, so we're not there yet, but we'll get there soon. Okay, so this is today's block. Heading out now, heading out soon. I'm gonna add a few more details about the wings, and then I'll get this in your email inboxes. So if you're just joining us, go ahead and sign up. You'll get the first 3 blocks and then the remaining blocks as well. So it's a great bargain. 12 blocks for just 39 bucks. Okay. Thanks everybody for joining me, and have a great week. I will see you in the Collage Quilter Academy Facebook group and on Instagram. And I look forward to seeing how your garden party is coming along. Okay. Take care, you guys. Bye-bye.